So last but not least, I want to go over the NFC South Division. Who's going to win the NFC South Division in 2021? To me, it's pretty obvious. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the division with a 14-3 record. I have the New Orleans Saints coming in second place with a 9-8 record. The Carolina Panthers actually have the same record as them, so you can flip those two teams. But I think Carolina and New Orleans will both be 8-9 football teams, 8 wins, 9 losses. And the Atlanta Falcons, once again, they're going to disappoint. They'll be a 4-13 football team. In my opinion, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are locks to win the division in 2021. There's absolutely no weaknesses on this roster. This team is coming off a Super Bowl 55 victory. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. And I think Tom Brady at least has one more great season left in him. Like, Tom Brady is getting up there in age, but I think that he still has about one more great season left in him. And I think that this season he'll play well. And even if Tom Brady were to get hurt, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster is so talented and so loaded that if Blaine Gabbert or Kyle Trask were asked to start games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they can win games because this roster has star wide receivers, good running backs, an elite defense, an elite offensive line. And last year, the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl in a year in which things were not supposed to go the way that they went, okay? Because it was a weird offseason with COVID. You know, Tom Brady's learning a whole new system, whole new team, a lot of moving parts. Antonio Brown gets added midway through the season. How's it going to look? And that team still found a way to steamroll their way through the NFC and win the Super Bowl in convincing fashion. Tampa Bay, they're going to roll over this week schedule. They should be amongst the Super Bowl favorites once again, no doubt about it. The Saints, I don't have the Saints making the playoffs this year. You know, they are going to definitely miss Drew Brees because Drew Brees, he provided consistency, great leadership, accuracy, great people skills. Like, Drew Brees is an all-time great quarterback. We cannot state that enough. He's an all-time great. A former Super Bowl MVP. And we've seen it in the past. When Hall of Fame quarterbacks leave a team, that team tends to struggle. The Denver Broncos, when John Elway left them, for a while, they struggled. Peyton Manning, when he left the Denver Broncos struggled at times. The Colts, they weren't very good when Peyton Manning didn't play games for them until they got Andrew Luck, you know. Even Tom Brady left the Patriots this past year. The Patriots had their first losing season in I don't know how long. Okay, and look, I do think Jameis Winston has talent. I get it. Jameis Winston's been learning under Sean Payton. He learned under Drew Brees. He's going to know the system because he's in his second year in the system. Jameis has all the talent in the world. I get it. But I'm just not a big-time believer. And I think that Jameis Winston's way too mistake-prone. I think that, you know, I'm just not feeling it. I don't think Jameis Winston, at least in year number 1, I don't think Jameis Winston is going to do enough in year 1 with Sean Payton to get the Saints to the playoffs. And I think the situation Jameis Winston is walking into is a pretty overrated situation. You know, Marquez Callaway, he's a solid player, but he's unproven. You know, Traquan Smith, really? You know, he's good, but is he great? You know, the Saints are going to be without Michael Thomas once again for an extended period of time. They lost Jared Cook. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, Sheldon Rankins, Janoris Jenkins, Trey Hendrickson. Those guys are no longer playing on the defense. So I think New Orleans has talent, but I don't think Jameis Winston is going to be able to overcome some of the key losses the Saints had in this offseason. I don't think the Saints had a great offseason as far as improving the team. I think they're Alvin Kamara injury away from being a team that is really not that good, and I'm not feeling the Saints this year. The Carolina Panthers, I think they're underrated this year. I really do. In a weird way, Sam Darnold might be an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater. And look, I'm not the biggest Sam Darnold fan, but this is the first time in Sam Darnold's young NFL career where he's going to be put in a legitimate position to succeed. Because with the New York Jets, He had a bad coaching staff, a bad offensive line, not many weapons to throw to, a bad defense. The culture wasn't all that great. Now in Carolina, he has star wide receivers. He has a great running back in Christian McCaffrey. And I think the Carolina Panthers defense has a lot of good players. Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, first round pick out of South Carolina. I think he's a real player. The offensive line does worry me for the Carolina Panthers, and Sam Darnold is a mistake-prone quarterback. But like I mentioned earlier, I think Sam Darnold in a weird way could be an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater because Sam Darnold is going to push the ball down the field. He's going to make plays. Okay, he's a playmaker. He's going to make mistakes, but he'll also make a lot of plays. Whereas Teddy Bridgewater, he's not going to win you games, but he also was going to lose you games. He was a game manager, so I think that the big plays will be there for Carolina. They'll be improved, and we'll see what the future holds for Sam Darnold. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a bad football team once again. I tried to find a situation where I could pencil the Falcons in for more wins, but their schedule is brutal. They play the Saints twice, obviously. They play Washington. They play the Giants on the road, the Dolphins on the road, the Cowboys on the road, the Patriots. They play against the 49ers on the road, the Buffalo Bills. Like, their schedule's brutal, and the defense is not very good once again. And once again, the Atlanta Falcons are going to ask Matt Ryan and those group of wide receivers to outscore people. And you just can't ask Matt Ryan at this stage in his career to carry a football team. He's never been a quarterback that is capable of carrying a football team. So, look, they have a new head coach. We'll see what Arthur Smith does, but I'm not confident that the Falcons will be very good in 2021. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.